Hey there, how is everybody? Today is actually day 26. Glogging, day 26. And I'm here to get her done. And today was a good day. Wasn't as exciting as yesterday. I had so many really big discoveries. I'm still in discovery mode with the emotions stuff. And today I actually listened to the session that Tony did on emotions, and I listened to the procedure that he had whenever you are confronted with emotions, and it works really well. But I have to say, in some ways, I like what I came up with a lot better. I like the target. I especially like some additions that I've added since then, which is it's as if it's an emotional radar. And to be on course, you want to be in the center, and being on course is feeling on a regular basis the main emotions that you want to feel. And the other emotion, anything that is a little blip on somewhere else on the radar besides the center, is just a course correction rather than and honoring it. I have to find some more verbiage that says honor. Tony does a really good job of telling you to basically stop and examine it and actually be thankful for the emotion, whatever the emotion is, that it's letting you know that something needs to change in some way. So, and that I need to work into my approach a little bit more. But I am getting to the point where I just see where I was cutting off my own nose on this. And one of the things that I wrote in my journal was, it's okay to feel. I think because I had all these negative emotions surrounding my MS, and I was way in overwhelm, and I was trying to fix my voice, and it took 4 years to fix my voice, and when things finally came tumbling down after the only reason I stopped was because I ran out of money. And it wasn't okay for me. It wasn't okay for me to keep investing my mom's money on something that I was always going to have to work at as hard as I was working at it. Because of my MS. Because the MS made it completely not stable. I wasn't going to get to a place where I wasn't going to get to a place where I could have confidence in what I was doing. Those days were over. And the reason is because I remember the first time I heard some of the effects of MS on my voice, and I was out of tune. I was terribly out of tune. And I had never been out of tune on any recording that I ever heard of myself. Ever. And I was out of tune a lot. But of course, if I had known I was out of tune, I wouldn't have been out of tune, if that makes sense. Do you see what I mean? So I completely lost my confidence in my ability to tell if I was in tune or not. So I in my head always will have to have a person outside of me that tells me, and sometimes it's not actually the tuning, but the vowel tuning, which makes it sound really funky, and that's balancing from right to left within my vocal tract. That's an issue for that. It has to be perfectly balanced from left to right for it to sound right, and the vowels to sound right, and it is for the vowels to sound in tune. And that I absolutely can't. I can't rely on anybody. Excuse me, I can't rely on myself to know. I have to have somebody, a teacher outside of myself, that will always say, and I'm 50, so yes, I'm terribly talented. Things could have gone very differently for me, but it's, what? I'm just done working so hard. It's, working so hard at something you're passionate about just kills it. It just does. I mean, working at what you feel like is a deficit without ever feeling you're going to conquer it, that's what's not okay. Anyway, boy, I didn't mean to talk about that today, but I think my point was that I was just really overwhelmed, and I think I just shut down feelings, period. And I think, they could call it depressed or whatever. I didn't necessarily feel depressed. I could tell you that I wasn't interested in doing anything and that kind of stuff, but I didn't really feel, I didn't have more sad emotions than I did before. I think overwhelmed and shut down is more what was going on than depression per se. Just not willing to put myself out there because it was too painful to. So, but now I've got some new goals in front of me, and a lot of my sitting still for so long was because what do you do when you've been chasing something for 30 years of your life? You're 50 or just about to be, and life says, no, you can't do that anymore. All of that education, all of that, yeah, I'm an educated woman, but I can't, there's no capital gain anymore to be made on my investment in my education as far as singing goes. There just isn't. So, turning my life, seeing what else I'm interested in doing on a regular basis, that kind of stuff. So, that whole reinvention, that's the reinvention of the wheel. What do you do? What do you do when you're 50? I said this in the very first video I posted, and if you want to go back and look at it, it'd be great. I don't know how to put them up in the upper part yet. I'm still learning my posting skills. But as I said, what do you do when you're 50 and you're basically starting over, And I'm, I'm blessed. I am so blessed to be in a situation where I could sit on my ass for as long as I did and figure it out. It certainly wasn't worth it for me to keep working at the grocery store because I was only $35 off a week. I got that all twisted around. And, at the end of the day, with smart shopping and that kind of stuff, I could make that up. It wasn't worth it. And it certainly was not worth the risks I was taking as far as my MS went. That it absolutely wasn't. That wasn't cool. So we start out on a new journey, and that's what we do. So anyway, but a lot of good things happening, as you know. Still not smoking. Yay! And that's about it. Got Mama to the hairdresser today. It had to move. So we went to the hairdresser today. We had fun at the hairdresser with Mama. And my whole outlook on having to take care of Mom has really changed because I feel like I'm making progress. And so I'm not, you know, anything that I was upset with Mom, I don't know, it was like a release valve for my anger and frustration. It wasn't, not that the things that I ever relate about, taking care of Mom aren't true, and they are. I haven't talked about that much here, but it became the mechanism for me to deal with a lot of, it was just displacement, if you understand. I was just displacing my negative emotions into another place, or the non-target emotions, to use my own verbiage. Anyway, okay, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Have a good night.